Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Witty Comic Book Runner. We've covered this week's Marvel books. Now it's time to move on to this week's non-Marvel books. We'll kick things off with our mature readers' books. Most of which are from DC, but we got one from Boom Studios. Let's kick things off. We've got House of Slaughter number 17. Where we left off, B, the White Mask with no arms had been placed inside a halfway house for seemingly for troubled children. He arrived late at night and so was unable to meet the rest of the children, though his familiars say that one of them is evil, that one of them is bad. And so B is introduced to the rest of the kids. First meeting Derek, Jordy, and Booker, whom he shared a room with. Then the girls, Luna and Sienna. Before he's then introduced to Nanette, who's holding the baby of the couple who runs the house. But that night, B further familiarizes himself with the house while everyone sleeps. Here's something outside. The monster comes to attack. B deals with it, but there's a light on at the house. The next morning is yard work day, and B isn't exactly able to help due to his lack of not having arms. He have a brief flashback before B was found by the Order. Dick from Derek from the kids, he thinks himself the big alpha male protector of the group. And it seems that B has developed an interest in Nan. That night, when he goes to bed, the door is up. He sees a light from one of the rooms, walks by, and sees Nan reading to one of the girls, stating that when we're not at our best, that the monster comes out, and that is where the issue ends. It's definitely an interesting arc so far. A silent protagonist definitely makes things unexpected. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham, number 1. This is a Black Label series focusing on Batman, as so many do. This is apparently set during the, I want to say the Year 1 era. Year 1, maybe Year 2. Simply put, Batman has his costume, but costume, name, all that. Has some of his gadgets, but he doesn't know, but no Robin. So yeah, Batman is early on in his mission, trying to save who he can. fighting various low-level masked thugs in Gotham. But there's apparently a crime boss who is apparently constantly crying. His operations have attracted Batman's attention, though Batman is currently unaware of the person. He attacked what he believes to be a drug lab, only to discover that the lab is in fact making TNT. Batman fights the crying man, wields a hammer. Takes more than a few hits from the guy, but warehouse he's operating out of blows up. Meanwhile, Detective Gordon is dealing with a string of homicides. Naked victims, face down, puncture wounds all over. Gets necessary statements. Batman begins studying is looking at the various clues from his recent run-in, noting that apparently his new foe appears to be a fan of those Cry Tombs. Also stating that he intends to soon make an announcement of Bruce Wayne's death. Alfred protests, saying that he will not allow Batman to suppress Bruce Wayne. Later, Batman is talking with Gordon about the murder. There are similarities, though. To an older case, an unsolved case from 30 years previously. Dr. Franz Ebner was a German scientist based in Gotham City, researching the properties of the energy field of the human body. However, Ebner was arrested accused of murdering his assistant. Served a sentence and later found dead in a hotel room. Wound on Dr. Ebner's neck had the same characteristics as the injuries of the victims they are investigating. Gordon's having to get used to some of Batman's eccentricities, such as his silent departures. And it does appear that there's further connections between Batman's new foe and these murders. Alfred is currently looking into the Cry Tombs, asking the artist who initially created them, or rather his widow, about them. Apparently someone already bought the whole archive. Gordon does some investigating on this new angle for the case, talking to late Dr. Ebner's cellmate. However, not a lot of information he's willing to exchange. At least for just one cigarette. But Gordon looks at the visitor's logs. Batman manages to track down his new foe, who was also utilizing masks of Crytoon characters. Batman gives chase to his new opponent, saving a man's hostage. And in fact, seemingly taking down his teary opponent. And also defeating him, while Gordon continues his research. Looking for possible other connections, discovering that Bruce Wayne is potentially a potential victim of this killer. That is where the issue ends. Interesting start to things. It is always interesting. It's especially interesting to me to read modern tales set during Batman's early days. Largely just because it helps with the idea of a sliding time scale, for me at least. You could point to a source and say, yes, this is in this era, and you can tell because the tech is, not more than 15, but less than 20 years old. It's like, yes, that makes sense. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Danger Street, number 9. Where we left off, the two knights had agreed to a duel, with the life of the Commodore in the balance. And so, this issue is their duel. The two knights are shown to be evenly matched. And while one states that there are three possible outcomes, two of which benefit him, only one that benefits the other, he clearly has an advantage. However, the Manhunter opts to parlay. The two knights talk briefly about their past, about their work, and the other proves to have telekinetic abilities, and picks up the Manhunter, holds him over away from the edge of the building, and then drops him, stopping his fall almost at the end, bringing him back up, and the two continue their duel. While the Manhunter's opponent is run through, the Manhunter has his leg cut off and then is also run through. And seemingly, the two die, further discussing everything, with the Manhunter adding that he has allies, and stating that if he had told them if he had not killed the Commodore by a certain point, they were to move in and make another attempt. And that is where the issue ends. This is a nice change of pace of sorts, focusing on a specific aspect of the story rather than snippets of each part of the tapestry. Shit. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we have Waller versus Wildstorm, Book 3. Where we left off, Jackson King's investigation into Amanda Waller had put him in the crosshairs of Slade Wilson, Waller's favorite cleaner. And so the issue begins with appears to be Winter being grabbed by Battalion and promptly killed, while Battalion reflects on some of their past adventures together. Slade Wilson watches all of this from a distance. Lois Lane is back in Gomorrah and doing further investigating about a man catches her attention, and so she begins asking questions. He shows her a picture. She shows the man, Jacob Marlowe, a picture of the Cybernary, which gets Marlowe to talk. But the two go for a walk. Battalion, meanwhile, is in his hotel room. Listening to excuse me, to recordings of conversations, and probably destroying the recordings when his phone rings. Shortly after his phone rings, his hotel room explodes. Slade set a charge in an explosive in his room. Neither Amanda Waller or Adeline Kane are pleased with this. With Slade saying, "Hey, if the Battalion's dead, just say it was a gas leak. Here in a place like Gomorrah, everyone will believe that." But Battalion's not dead, and so Battalion gives chase to Deathstroke, but also utilizes some human shields, allowing Deathstroke to escape. There's a flashback to a week and a half previously. Slade and his assistant Wintergreen met with Jackson King. They discussed what they knew about Katrina Cupertino, with Slade largely just feigning ignorance, kind of saying, "Hey, I just follow. I don't pay attention to stuff like that. I just follow orders. I don't cut the orders. I just follow." But Slade and King are once again chasing each other down, pretty much careening right into Lois and Marlowe. Marlowe thinks he's got his own things going on, and that's why he's working for Cupertino. Further adding some information that Katrina Cupertino was a code name utilized for the super weapons, the weapon systems implanted within a woman named Ivana Bayul. Or were implanted within the woman known as Katrina Cupertino. The woman is revealed to be none other than Ivana Bayul. who, in another world, could have run an intelligence agency. But not in this one. Basically got herself powers grafted onto her and used to do dirty work of others. As their conversation ends, Slade is chased by a battalion right in front of Lois, which leads to King seeing that Lois Lane is still on the case. Battalion picks up Deathstroke, rips his mask off, basically saying that he's going to kill Deathstroke. However, Deathstroke manages to short out Battalion's armor in midair. Battalion, who can't fly without the armor, falls and ends up impaled on a flagpole. Slade manages to escape, sees Lois, and chases after her, but is called off by Waller and Adelon. In the rubble, it seems that Lois Lane has found a cassette tape. And Amanda Waller is told that as King was their last obstacle, it's time for Waller to meet the Weatherman. And that is where the issue ends. I really am enjoying this book. Be a shame when it ends in a couple months, but I think it's only 6 issues, so. Simple idea of kind of truly combining concepts from both DC proper along with the majority of the Wildstorm universe is a nice touch. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to big shout out to Patreon patrons Andrew Lee. Thank you so much for your support. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.